We are in the doorway of the Aquarian full moon, and this full moon has more magic and transformative power hidden in it than most full moons. Let's talk about how we can make that more meaningful for ourselves and talk about how those energies that are forming up over the last 2 weeks are really coming to a culmination right now. I'm Jeffrey Grutner. I am an energy healer, an earth steward, a shaman, and an astrologer. And if you have been following my previous videos, you know that I've been absent for a little while, but I'm back here in my circle of planets, and I'm sharing with you today this really powerful full moon that is happening in just a matter of hours right now. So let's start with a review of what's been going on for the last 2 weeks, with the beginning with the new moon, and the outer planets were forming up and are still in this really powerful harmonious formation. And despite what's going on in the outer world, all the various things, because the suggestion was that we're at this moment in time, and moment is relevant, it's really spans a couple of years, but we're in a moment of time where great possibilities, where real leaps in consciousness and creating a better world are possible. So let's start over here with my planets. By the way, are set up pretty much for where the full moon will be tomorrow morning, because I'm recording this on the 28th, and at tomorrow morning at 9:36 Central Time is when the moon is exact, so it will rise tomorrow evening in its full phase. But a quick review is, Neptune in Aries, and it is calling us to dissolve old identity patterns and create new ones, to imagine, to bring a new vision of the world into being, and to create our own new identities from a higher ideal. So Neptune in Aries is starting a whole new cycle, and it is in a harmonious aspect to Uranus, which is in Gemini, and it is telling us to be innovative, to create new ideas, to talk to other people and communicate in different ways. And my suggestions in previous videos was that that may in fact be our own internal organic technology. The potential of our humanity is so far beyond what we experience in this ordinary, almost repressed state that we're living in currently. When we actually activate that full technology, we can evolve, we can make leaps into greater awareness and consciousness into the future. In a sense, I believe we have to evolve beyond what this external technology, so many people are talking about AI and all of these great things. Well, we can do more than that, and we have to. So I'm going to leave that there, but that's in a harmonious aspect with this notion of creating the new vision that Neptune is encouraging us to do. And it's in an even more powerful aspect, or more harmonious aspect, with Pluto. Pluto in Aquarius, that was telling us, is telling us that we need to empower more equality, social justice, and innovate into the future. We need to be creating things that are come out of the sharing from the collective, in terms of the ideas that empower people. And that all of those energies, they're still almost in the same degrees. They're in the 4th degree, 5th degree of their respective signs, and they're really working together. That may not have seemed like that was visible outwardly, because some of these same energies, when they're used at a lower vibration, are manifesting what we're seeing out on the surface out there. These are all happening in the super consciousness, beyond time, and in the collective unconscious or subconscious. All of that is outside of time. It's something going on at these other levels. But what was a part of that powerful aspect is that Pluto was opposite Jupiter. And now, and that suggested that there would be some energies that are trying to capitalize or expand their power, when hidden underneath it was the notion of the opportunity, Jupiter in Leo, to expand and grow from the heart, to grow your heart and your offerings to the world. And because of other shifts that have happened in the last 2 weeks, there's also the energetic here that this is no longer about performing for applause, being on the stage for the applause, and instead of the shining for the me, it's shining for the we. And that the gifts that we bring, the creativity that we expand and grow with, is there in order to enhance the collective, to shine the advancement, and I'm pointing to Pluto because this is in Aquarius. It's just about the Aquarius. And that was the essential, the Jupiter opposite Pluto was where the essential tension was. And that's what we've been seeing on the outer world. Those who are trying to take more power can hold on to this old paradigm. And what was going on under the surface, which is more people waking up and going, no, that's not what we want. We need to be empowered, and we need to be sharing from this heart space and envisioning a better future. Well, that is the dynamic then that is being activated with this full moon in Aquarius. So as we're recording this, you can imagine the sun over here that I'm pointing to getting ready to set in an hour or two, and with it is Jupiter. Just beyond the sun is Jupiter, and it'll be that way, here for a few days. But that means that the notion of expanding our philosophy, our principles of life that we want to live by, and our governing principles are coming through the radiance of the sun. So as we take in that solar energy into ourselves and allow ourselves to grow in that way, and that opposite it is Pluto and the moon. And so what's being activated with our new full moon is that dynamic. So what will that mean to us individually? First of all is your own deep awareness, because Moon Pluto, this is almost eclipsy-like energy. It's really digging deep for you to come to some terms with, well, am I with the groups that really serve where I can serve and shine my light for others? And that really enhances the empowerment of the group. That's part of the essential dynamic. And where do my values need to align? And where do I find my tribe? And how do I live with radical self-love so that I can shine my gifts into the world in a positive way? So if you can gather with people in ceremony and just to celebrate these new possibilities, even that much is great. But if you can do meditation or whatever ways that helps you to understand that we're on a threshold, we're moving into something if we invite in and we make better choices for ourselves, always moving towards what serves our soul and the soul of the collective and the future that we want to live in. Now, I'm going to include one essential other tension that is going on. And that, By the way, for those who follow me, you might have noticed that I did a Mercury retrograde. I had this placed in the wrong position. So I put it back in its rightful place. Chiron, this is where the wound is and where the healing is needed. And it's in the earth sign of Taurus. And what does that represent? Well, for humanity, it represents essential security, having all your basic needs met. And it relates to money and how we relate to money, because that is one of the essential things for the way we could structure society now. And we all know that's sick and needs healing, or I hope we know that. But the other thing that's even more essential to that is it's the earth itself. So the earth is caught between this energy that in its low vibration or low frequency expression, non-evolved expression, Sun conjunct Jupiter in Leo, is the, look at me, I'm the most powerful king in the world. And that the trying to draw that attention for applause against the other low vibration of, I can extract the power from the people and that'll make me great. That's low frequency tension. And we know how that's hurting the earth and how it's hurting our basic fundamental security, really kind of all over the world. But this is especially evident here in the United States right now. So if we can draw on what I was talking about earlier and be aware that a lot of our attention needs to be focused on the healing of the earth and the healing of our basic security, and that can be done in part through the empowerment of the people that we are connected to, Aquarius, Moon, Pluto in Aquarius, and coming from a place where we are shining not for me, but for the we. So I hope that's helpful to you, and have a wonderful and amazing full moon.